This is your friendly reminder that it would mean the world to me if you rated and reviewed the podcast on whatever platform you listen on. I've been really enjoying creating these forecasts, so I hope you're enjoying listening to them. And if you are, you can help the show out by throwing it a couple stars, preferably 5, but I'll take whatever you think I actually deserve. We've got a nice mix of astro weather headed our way this week, so let's dive in. Most of the heavy weather resides within the earlier half of the week, and it's all centered around Venus. Venus recently ingressed into Gemini, and it'll be making the rounds with the outer planets this week. Luckily, all the aspects Venus will be partaking in with those outer planets are going to be harmonic in nature. Now, harmonic aspects, just a quick reminder, are ones that are sextiles, trines, sometimes conjunctions based on what the planet is, but for the most part, harmonic is flowing. The energy is moving. That doesn't mean it's going to necessarily always be good, quote unquote. The words good and bad, we don't like those in this house, but it is something where the energy will be flowing unimpeded nonetheless, and it typically is something that we do prefer or like. So there will be a sextile with Neptune and Saturn, as well as a trine with Pluto, and then Uranus is trailing behind Venus in a really weak conjunction because Uranus is also shifting into Gemini on Monday, and more on that in a bit. Bookmark that because we're going to come back to it. Venus in Gemini is known to be flirty. It's known to be flighty. It wants to be stimulated all the time. And Venus is certainly flirting with the slower outer generational planets this week. This means that the realms of Gemini, Aries, and Aquarius will likely take precedence in the earlier part of the week. While that can sound like a lot of different areas to keep track of, remember that the common denominator here is Venus in Gemini. Everything is pointing from that area, coming from that area. So the realm of Gemini is going to be highly influential to these other areas of our lives. We're mixing the energy of longevity because of Venus and Saturn, with power because Venus and Pluto, and maybe even a little creativity or delusion because of Venus and Neptune. We need to stay curious this week, and we need to take note of all the details. There's a level of logic that's going to be needed in order to finesse this energy properly. Like, yes, Venus wants to have fun and enjoy itself, but it is in Gemini, so paying attention to the details, being intellectually stimulated is highly likely, and we can't get lost in the sauce. We need to remind ourselves what is real and what is fiction. Venus's energy is grounded through Saturn, but there might be some confusion or illusions that we have to cut through, again, because of Neptune's sextile. Relationships of all kinds might have a hint of delusion or confusion going on. Venus is the planet of relationships. It's also the planet of money. So this could be relationships and money. Again, it depends on where it's at in your chart. But really make sure that you have all the facts before jumping to any kind of conclusion or making any kind of decision when it comes to finances or relationships. And this is not just romantic relationships. This is anything. Any sort of relationship that you have, friendships, family, all of it are subject to this energy. There's also potential to make strong connections or have creative breakthroughs, but again, you have to make sure that you aren't jumping the gun or being led astray by Neptune's breadcrumbs and chasing a fantasy or a pipe dream. My weekly horoscopes will have a much more detailed look at where exactly this Venusian energy is concentrated for you, so if you're interested in that, go to my website or Patreon for more info. Around midweek, Venus's flirty escapades chill out a little bit, and we're immediately met with the full moon in Capricorn. Now, the moon is in detriment when it's in Capricorn, but that doesn't make it a bad lunar event. I always tell my clients who have the moon in Scorpio or Capricorn, you are not doomed. Life is not bad. It is okay. We will get through this. It's not a bad thing. Remember, good and bad don't exist. It's just a different orientation that the moon is taking on. The moon is in detriment when it's in Capricorn. Any Neptunian illusions that we're buying into, we are going to have to ground them once the full moon arrives. Early on in the week, you might allow yourself to forget the facts and get swept up in the creative daydream or follow your delusions. And then when the full moon arrives, you're going to have to cut the shit and you're going to have to get serious. We're really going to have to shift our focus to the realm of Capricorn and see what's blooming there. See what is radiating from that area. It's a full moon. So what is being highlighted in the realm of Capricorn for you this week? That is the question. It's likely what happened around the time of the new moon in Cancer just 2 weeks ago. It's likely that impact, we're seeing that impact because, the sun and moon are in opposition during a full moon. So we're seeing those seeds come into contact with this full moon, and we need to see how we're feeling about it, how it has changed the area of Capricorn, how the area of Cancer is also changing. So we need to really understand, what did those new moon seeds that we planted do, and also what's just going on in the realm of Capricorn that we need to get serious about. The ruler of the full moon, Saturn, is still partaking in that conjunction with Neptune that I talked about last week. I'm going to be bringing this up multiple times because it's important, it's happening, it's real, and it's long-lasting for a while. It's going to be around Neptune for a little while, and Neptune just stationed retrograde, so they're going to be together. This energy is not going away. So we're being asked to ground illusions and, again, cut the bullshit, especially around the time of the full moon because it's Saturn ruled. This full moon is an opportunity to tighten up and get more serious about the realm of Capricorn and what's going on there, as well as the realm of Aries, since that's where Saturn currently resides. The full moon's energy will be at its height on Thursday, but I suspect it's going to trickle into the weekend, and we're really going to be working on shedding our delusions for the remainder of the week. Whatever this full moon highlights for you, it's an opportunity to fine-tune something and see the merit in buckling down and putting in the hard work, setting our emotions aside. Do not let emotions deter you like they did with this previous new moon. You need to get things done. Be practical, be realistic, and you will see results. Again, I have more details on the full moon in my Lunar Horoscopes edition of my zine. So to all my patrons, look for that later this week because it's coming. Before we close out this forecast, I want to circle back and speak on Uranus ingressing into Gemini. This is a major outer planet shift, a generational planet shift. Uranus will dip back into Taurus later in the year due to a retrograde, but the ingression this week means there's a major shift towards unpredictability within our minds and within our communication. Two of the generational planets will be in air signs, Pluto and Uranus, which means the collective mind is shifting towards changing ideas, policies, the way we think about power, and the way that we communicate with each other in a really radical way. Because Pluto and Uranus are going to be in a trine for the time being, so it's like, this unpredictable power, what's going on with this? And I think that's what we're maybe feeling at the moment in our personal lives and within the world at large. You might find that you're a bit more daring with your words, or you're embodying a different mindset than you ever thought possible. You don't have to take action with this energy right away. Let it simmer and give yourself time to adjust to these new thoughts and ideas that Uranus might be spurring for you in the realm of Gemini. And honestly, once Uranus stations retrograde and it kicks back into Taurus, you might just end up changing your mind anyway. You might not be ready to fully commit to the radical ideas, the offbeat, eccentric, unique ideas that are popping up in your head. So it's okay to be non-committal right now. I mean, Venus is in Gemini. Be non-committal. It's okay. Just really be mindful of your words and how you convey your message so you don't have to backtrack later on. In all, this week is filled with Venusian charm, but also Neptunian delusion. In this house, Neptune is a malefic. Yes, it can bring creativity and fun spurts of magic, but it's really escapism. Escapism is a big one. Delusions are a big one. So if you find yourself being a little delulu lately, Neptune's maybe to blame a little bit. We don't blame astrology, but you know what I mean. Neptune is putting that energy out there, those breadcrumbs out there for us to follow our delusions. So try to ground yourself as much as possible. Use that full moon to really sink into the reality of what the realm of Capricorn holds for you and what it's trying to teach you. There's something that's asking to be seen and paid attention to within the realm of Capricorn. And while it might not be the sexiest thing or the most exciting thing, it will help ground us enough to make logical choices amongst all the lighthearted chaos that Venus is kicking up. Thank you for tuning in to this week's forecast. If you want more astrological content, including weekly personalized horoscopes, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, or you can find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.